Gaza would be determined by how it views Israel's immediate action on these steps. New York's Democratic Attorney General wants the company providing Donald Trump his $175 million bond to...
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind. KCAA.
What would you do if you had a broken bone? You'd go to the doctor and use your insurance, right? Well, what would you do if you have a serious problem with drugs and alcohol? Most people do nothing until it's way too late. Your insurance can help you get clean and sober with the assistance of a place like the Detox and Treatment Helpline. Many times, addiction treatment is fully covered. So why not use your insurance to treat your addiction problem just like you would if you had a broken bone? And with the Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed to take time off by law, and your employer doesn't need to know the reason. So there are two good reasons. You've got insurance you can use for your addiction problem, and with the Family Medical Leave Act, it's completely confidential. Call now, 800-398-7414. That's 800-398-7414.
Life is challenging and ever-changing. Take control with passive income through real estate investing. Learn how. Learn now. Let Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited's investors and mentors show you. Meet Del's team live in Anaheim 2 days only at the Sheraton Park Hotel at Anaheim Resort. Saturday and Sunday, May 4th and 5th. Register now at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. That's GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Enter promo code 2024 for a special discount offer. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Code 2024.
Early diagnosis of breast cancer is the key to survival. Test today. This health reminder from Leanne Thomas, Professional Realty Services, serving the Inland Empire with quality and pride. If you're in the market to buy or sell real estate, look to a name you can trust. Call 951-454-3805. Again, 951-454-3805. Or visit thejetteam.com. Like and follow them on Facebook. That's Leanne Thomas, Professional Real Estate Services, Real Estate, Calibrate number 0170416.
One of the best ways to build a healthier local economy is by shopping locally. Teamster Advantage is a shop local program started by Teamster Local 1932 that has brought together hundreds of locally owned businesses to provide discounts for residents who make shopping locally their priority. Everything from restaurants like Corky's to fun times at SB Raceway and much, much more. If you're not currently a Teamster and you want access to these local business discounts, contact Jennifer at 909-889-8377, extension 224. Give her a call. That number again is 909-889-8377, extension 224.
KCAA Radio, Loma Linda, where no listener is ever left behind.
Call-in show when I get to be Dr. Marissa, the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. And people call in to get their life tires balanced and their critical thinking or their BS, their belief systems, smog checked. And today I am delighted to have Malie calling in from Birmingham, Alabama.
We could go 90 days and end up having terrible sex. And then you say, well, the relationship's not all about sex. Well, if I'm not getting great sex from you, then I'm going to get it from somebody else, right?
That moose just got put on the table. And I see Josh and Jim.
I have to agree.
You're
with Clyde.
both nodding. Ramon's sort of half nodding because his wife's listening. But
I understood what was going to happen if Muhammad Ali's youngest daughter, made public that I was going to become a boxer. So I wanted to make sure this was the path that I wanted to go down.
You are absolutely fabulous, beautiful inside and out. And I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award today.
Thank you.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a fateful trip that started from this tropic point.
When I go, I'm gone.
Are you lonely?
No.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be
But
the answer.
I surround myself with people. I mean, I'm always the one cooking for things. But I'm always the one that decorates first and come to my house. All the orphans that have no place.
I'm going to have no place to go, so
Okay,
I can come
okay,
over.
come on over.
And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, CNBC News, NBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Spreaker, Streaker, and many more. I am Dr. Marissa. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. And I balance out all the bad news out there that's so readily available. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Everywhere you turn, it's some story about bad government, bad people, or bad weather. So I have started now 623 consecutive weeks ago on air, on camera, to bring you good news to balance out all of that bad news. So if you've missed any of the 1,140 podcast shows, yes, I think I was doing podcasts before they called them podcasts, then please do, free subscribe to my YouTube TV channel, where you can get a free, when you free subscribe, you get an alert that I'm coming on every weekday morning here on the morning show on KZAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. Number one talk in the IE, and hopefully soon everywhere else. I am so delighted. I have a couple of things to bring you this morning. Right after we have breakfast, we're going to have an interview that I got to do at Secret Knock in San Diego when I was Dr. Marissa reporting live on location there with a beautiful inside and out woman, Nicole Kernahan. And I'm going to bring that to you, as well as a couple of Mental Health Matters Mondays tips after the interview. So hopefully you'll stay in tune with that. I'm also giving away a pair of tickets to the Al Stewart concert that's at the Saban Theater, one of my great show sponsors, When Music Meets the Soul Productions, and more information on that. So hang in there, stay tuned. And if you're not listening on the radio on the way into work or wherever you're going, please do free subscribe, as I said, and there on YouTube, as well as LinkedIn and Facebook, you can chat and you can actually play along with me this morning, but not while you're driving. All right, and here we go. First thing we like to do all the time on this show, started about over a year ago. Instead of starting with all the bad news, we condition you, or I encourage you to work that muscle of gratitude. So taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich entails 8 specific things at the top of the bun. What are you grateful for? And the way I define gratitude is things outside of yourself. And the bottom of the bun, which I'm going to model for you to do before you go to bed tonight, is 8 things that you're specifically grateful for inside of yourself. So working that muscle of appreciation, because it is my BS, my belief system, that good mental health starts with a foundation of self-love, self-respect, self-care, self-soothing. And that's why I want you to put out there, toot your own horn, in a nice way, what do you like about yourself? So let's get started. Breakfast. 8 things I'm grateful for. One is I have a new sound engineer who's in the background getting trained today. And I do really appreciate and grateful for all the guys, literally all guys at KCAA who support this show and are continuing to allow me to function 88% perfectly on the air, on camera, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that I get to wake up this morning. The planets did not crash into each other last night. I get another opportunity all day today, unless they crash with the eclipse, but that I'm grateful that I get to, just take a breath and enjoy living, loving, laughing, learning all day. I'm grateful to wish my adopted son, part of my family, my Friday co-host who is going on hiatus. We have a new show starting on Fridays, and I'll tell you a little more about that later. But her son, Trace Austin, I'm the honorary auntie. He just celebrated a birthday. So happy birthday, dear Trace. You are amazing, and you did not fall far from the musical tree of your grandfather, Otis Williams, founder of the Temptations. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Trace. Let's give him a little applause. You want to follow him. He is definitely an up-and-coming musician and actor and dancer, singer, you name it. The Trace Austin on all the socials. I am grateful that I got invited to compete in an international karaoke competition. So I've been practicing, and the finals are in, I think, Finland, which would be amazing, but we're just at the first step. And I am grateful that, I did spring cleaning, and I did my shop in my closet event over the weekend, which was a lot of fun, and a book signing on top of that. I am grateful finally that I get to go to China this year with my daughter in June for the Beijing book fair. Yes, COVID stopped my book tour, but we're back on this year. Got back from Australia, sold out there, and delighted and excited to be able to continue bringing this book, which today, since it is Mental Health Matters Mondays, the first 8 people to go to my website, drmarissa.life, to put in Asian Oprah giveaway, get an audio book version of that book, 8 Ways to Happiness. And a lot of my happy 88 tips come from that book. And I'm grateful that it hit #1 bestseller on Amazon, national bestseller, and a bunch of awards. But most of all, I'm grateful that it has helped a lot of people move through their pain into the power. All right, bottom of the bun. What do you like about yourself? The reason why I do this is because a lot of us don't like ourselves. I remember an interview I did in the Philippines with Karen Davila, who's known as the Philippine Oprah. And she said that a lot of people, I said, a lot of people hate themselves. And she said, isn't that strong? And I said, well, if you think about it, who's your worst enemy? I'm my own worst enemy. When you have 99 compliments and 1 insult, where do you go? The insult. So a lot of us have difficulty liking ourselves. So we go around looking with our antenna for likes, literally in social media, how many likes, which is why I'm so counter to looking at numbers. It is important for you to know what you are good at, more so than what you're not, and to own that. Because frankly, my dear, if you can't approve of yourself, how the fork do you expect anyone else to approve of you? So that's why we do this exercise. I want you to do it before you go to bed. That way you're not thinking about who done me wrong, what I didn't do right, and of course you're not going to be able to sleep. So a good night's sleep starts with saying, I appreciate my ability to learn and grow and expand, and constantly loving to do new things, to appreciate the deliciousness of life. Those of you who are on my social Doc Balance on Instagram will see that I post sometimes, me eating, because I want to be one with my food and love the taste of delicious food. So that is something I appreciate about myself. I appreciate my ability to be 88% perfect. 12% of the time I step in it, 12% of the time I'm impatient, well, actually, I'm never impatient because patient is not in my vocabulary, but I'm okay with the 12% that I'm not fabulous, but 88% of the time I am. I appreciate my ability to be caring. I appreciate my ability to be creative, especially in my clothing. I appreciate my ability to, to practice 88% of the time what I teach, which is why the show is called Take My Advice. I'm not using it, by the way. And that's it for breakfast sandwich. I didn't see anybody come into the comment with their own gratitude and appreciation. Know that you can do this on your own, but if you join me for the next 28 consecutive days doing this good life habit or blissipline, I promise you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. All righty then, it is time for an interview, and I'm not going to give her the intro only because she's going to give herself an intro, but I was delighted to Dr. Marissa reporting live in San Diego. As I mentioned before, a good friend, Greg Reed, does this amazing event that you cannot pay to go to. You have to be invited to pay to go to. And every year he does amazingly, bringing guests like this year. The Soup Nazi was one of my favorites. Dave Cause, who I actually know through my twin sister, Keiko Matsui, amazing jazz musician extraordinaire. If you get a chance to go to any of his events, and I understand Greg's going to be going on a cruise to do the self-development side of things, which is awesome. And so I met a series of people through my Great People Connection. Her name is Marissa Friedman. She's amazing as well. She was on stage and she hooks me up with these great people in her tribe to interview. And Nicole was one of those people. So without further ado, let's see if I can do this the best possible way. I had this set up, but you know what? I'm going to play something here that I meant to play earlier and I didn't. All right. And while it's playing, this is an early commercial. How's that? You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using a gift balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. And if I can find it, it would be wonderful. Here we go. This is the commercial.
Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Gong. My name is Dr. Marissa Pei. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance
and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢.
Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will.
Awesome. And without further ado, here is my interview with Nicole.
You hold it, I'll take a picture of that. One of the best things you're talking. It's great, yes. It's just Dr. Marissa reporting live here at Secret Knock. And one of the best things about Secret Knock is meeting powerful women who are doing things in their one-of-a-kind, wonderful way. And I get introduced by other people who are fabulous in their own right. And I got the introduction this morning, so I'm delighted to speak with Nicole. And in order to introduce yourself, this is what I'd like you to think about. I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. Okay. So when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So who are you? What do you want?
Well, okay. I'm Nicole Kernahan. Thank you for asking. I'm an elite coach, and I am the Chief Operating Officer of the international coaching company Elevated Worldwide with Tony Child, who I know you have met and interviewed in the past.
Yes.
So I really help. I work with high-performing executives and entrepreneurs through the power of the mind to allow them to step into and make sure that they are consciously making choices. They're allowing themselves to make those choices and changing their perspective. So it's a unique path to empowerment.
God. When you were a kid, did you know that's what you were going to be doing?
Well, when I was a young child, maybe 7 or 8 years old, I wanted to be Supergirl. So sort of in one way or another, yes. I did want to empower people
there you go.
with the power of choice and changing their perspectives, but obviously they didn't.
And where did you grow up?
I actually grew up just outside of Toronto, Canada.
Oh,
so I'm Canadian.
I was born in Kitchener-Waterloo, Ontario.
Well, I grew up in Guelph.
Oh,
so
very
down the street.
Very close. Wow. And so you went to college. You had a track that you were on. What made you sort of gravitate towards mind, the power of mind, all of that?
Yeah, I actually went to University of in Laurier University in the city of Waterloo, which you know since it
University
was
of Waterloo.
Well, both for Laurier University in the city of Waterloo.
Okay.
So I went to to school for business. I have a background in business, worked in corporate for many years, but I had a physical episode. So my journey into the mind actually started with my body.
Oh,
right,
tell me about that.
Yeah, it was originally diagnosed as a stroke, later diagnosed as multiple sclerosis. Now, to meet me today, you can't tell this was 20 years ago. I'm doing amazing, but I was paralyzed on the right side. I lost the functionality, and
wow.
So it was at the time.
How old were you at the time?
I was 21.
Good.
So it knocked me off my tracks. You know, you just don't expect something.
No.
Any health condition, you're not expecting it. And to be honest, for a long time, I attributed my transformation, my healing to the health, to nutrition, to lifestyle, to exercise, in which I still do believe that is an incredibly important aspect. But about 10 years after my healing, I realized that the root cause of my results was actually because of my mindset. Wow. It was because I believed I could heal. It was because I was persistent. I had discipline. I had that self-image. I had a vision. So it was all these concepts are really in the mind that allowed me to take those actions that delivered my results. Your thoughts lead to your feelings. Your feelings moved into action.
That is a BS belief system. Did you learn that from your family? It's supposed to be funny.
Okay.
Did you learn that from your family? From where did you get that?
I would say yes, the initials, because I would call myself an unconscious competent at the time. when I was 21, I had the physical episode. For many, they would think worst case scenario. They would be in fear. They would be in doubt. Right? Whereas I saw opportunity, potential. I heard the diagnosis and I said, "Thank you," and I'm going to choose a different prognosis. So I had that innate, I call it unconscious competence.
Yeah,
because I just beliefs.
We're having some
technical
opportunities to take a breath and to pause for a second. We are on location. Those of you know, I spent, I've been on Secret Knock stage. Greg calls me part of their family. Colt, his son, apparently loves me. I love him. And that's where we are. And so they're setting up for the gala tonight. So if you hear punctuation points in the background, that's what it is. But I think it is a very apt analogy to certainly what happened to you. And I just want to go back because you didn't gloss over it, but I really want to take a moment to acknowledge. I can't even imagine at age 21, when you had the world in front of you, you were graduated from college, you had dreams and hopes and desires, and then you woke up, or tell me that, because not because I want to go to that dark place, but one of the things that I know my role is to change the BS belief system in the world, that when something bad happens to you, you either are being punished for something, or that it puts you behind and you're never going to catch up, and all of that bullshit talking. So that's why I would like, if you wouldn't mind, just that is incredible that I want to acknowledge that, and because I know that it couldn't have been easy. So, and if you feel emotional, good, because I love it when my guests cry, because tears are the disinfectant that keep our hearts soft, and then I know that you're talking to me, your heart's open. So just take me back again to that, the part where you were walking to school. What happened?
That is basically what it was. It was actually, it wasn't, I woke up and all of a sudden I couldn't use my arm. It was actually over about 3 or 4 days. It started to be tingly, started to feel a little numb. I thought I was just waking up, if you wake up and you're in sleep.
Yeah.
Then it just didn't wake up, kept sleeping, and I would be dropping a pen. Just like, I didn't tell my hand to let that go, but it really was over a few days, and eventually I went to the hospital.
And you're like, oh, I'm okay.
Yes,
I can fix this.
Yep,
I'm strong.
I got this. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
I was actually in a group class.
Yeah.
I asked some of my peers. I was like, "Does my speech sound slurred?" That was the final straw, where they were identifying that, okay, now it's in your speech, so something is more than just your.
And then it took them a while to even figure out what it was. Yeah. That has to be really frustrating.
They originally diagnosed as a stroke because the scan only identified one lesion. And then it was actually a while later where the multiple lesions showed up, and they would re-diagnose it as multiple sclerosis.
I just can't even. And then, so by the time they got the diagnosis, you said, I'm not this diagnosis. This diagnosis is not going to define me. Where, that's amazing. I do choose that way as well. My daughter had a horrific rollover in a car, fractured neck, fractured wrist, and I refused to go there. I just said, we'll see what the doctor says at the next x-ray. That's it.
Yep.
So a little bit for anybody who's going through any kind of physical hardship, the way that you can discipline your mind to not go to worst case scenario. We have another example here of how that benefits your heels. Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The parents were supportive at this time.
Well,
must have been.
They were all supportive. Absolutely. Parents, friends, they just thought that I missed the diagnosis. I don't think she heard the doctor because I was able to very quickly. I did accept the diagnosis, and I accepted the diagnosis. I saw the scans. I just chose not to accept the prognosis, which is you may or may not regain functionality. You may or may not walk again. You may or may not, this might come back. And so I just chose not to accept the prognosis. Wow. And that was the choice. I did, right? That was the choice. And because of that, when you believe, I love the no BS. The BS are great. Change your belief system. When you believe that it is possible, even though you don't know yet, you don't know how yet, you don't know who, it's that feeling was what moved into action. I found the naturopath, the nutritionist, the chiro, physio. I also did it all because I believed that I was going to figure it out. So then I didn't stop trying until I figured out what was.
Yeah.
When you don't believe and when you're fearful or in doubt or worried, then it's harder to commit to those actions.
Yes, and it's harder to receive the inspiration of what to do, the inspired action. I was preaching about that because I think that we don't understand that if you are a worry ward, right, you are not going to receive any kind of inspired direction on what to do. So we have that example, but great. So I did really want to anchor one, kudos to you. And for that, I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award because you are.
Now I'm going to cry.
Yeah, good. Because you took something that many people would have used as a justifiable reason to stop trying or stop wanting or stop desiring, and you didn't. And so if she can do it, you can do it. And so that's great. Okay, so then you, through diet, you said exercise, just because I know they're going to ask me, what kind of diet were you on that helped you with this?
Yep. Yeah, I still am today. So
no processed food, plant-based.
I do consume some animal products, some protein, but gluten-free, dairy-free, high plant-based, a lot of vegetables, a lot of omega-3s and certain supplements. And that's all putting all that goodness in, but while every day putting my body, my mental state into a place of calm and peace as much as possible. We're human, not always, because that puts my body into the ability to heal.
So you heard it here. This is the holistic solution to everything that is diseasing you. Okay. So it's not just the body. It's not just the mind.
Yeah.
It is a directive. Deepak Chopra says there's 2 emotions that will make you sick. Anger and hostility. It's just anger on steroids. 3, you're proving him right. 3 emotions that make your cells in harmony: love, peace, and creativity. And you're a walking example of that.
Yes.
So tell me then, after that, how you got involved in elevated mind. And I did have Tony on, and glad to be following up with people who are good examples of how this methodology works.
Yes.
So
the organization is elevated worldwide, and it was through a series of events. A long story short, I actually was in a health business because I believed at the time that was my primary healing. I didn't quite understand. I was unconscious competent of how much my mind had played into that. And then I stumbled into a 3-day seminar, actually with Bob Proctor initially. And that's who I originally partnered with. Bob Proctor, there's Bill Banta, you'll speak to. And
do you know Bob was on my show?
Really?
Yeah, I got to interview Bob because he's a good friend of my big brother, Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. And I actually was brought to his Lifetime Achievement Award that was given to Bob Proctor, thanks to PJ. I don't know if you know PJ Thomas, but He's the one that brought me to Carnegie Hall to honor Bob because I got my brother to go. But they really wanted Michael, so
He's also incredible.
And yes, and so that's how that happened. So we have that in common. I didn't know that.
All the dots connect,
Yes,
right?
That's there's never 6 degrees. It's down to 3 degrees.
So Bob Proctor was the first one who made the dots connect for me, where all of a sudden this unconscious competent, I realized, oh my goodness, like cartwheels, the light came on in the dark room, and I had an understanding of the power of how much what I had done in my own life, but also now I was aware of everyone else, and I was aware of how to apply the thought aspect to my business, to my relationships, to other areas, right? And it would just once your eyes are opened, it's hard to cancel it sometimes. When you know, and
Okay, so let me give you an example that you can sort of walk. So I'll wake up in the morning. This rarely happens, but I'll pretend it does. And I wake up and I just don't feel like getting out of bed. I know I have tons of things to do. I have commitments I have to keep, but I just don't feel like getting out of bed. And then the more I stay in bed, the more guilty I feel, angry at myself. And then the other voice is like, F it. You're not the boss of me. I don't want to. And then, I've always wanted to be a procrastinator, but never got around to it. And then I end up, staying in bed, comforters on, trip to the fridge, get the ice cream, whatever it is, and go back to bed. And then next thing you know, you are getting final notice bills. That's the extreme.
Yeah.
How would you apply this elevated mind system for someone that's not very uncommon, especially since what's that thing called? The beer virus, the pandemic has happened. There's some people who are still in that place. So what would you say to them or coach them on?
Thank you for that example. That is a very, I don't want to say extreme, but that's the deepest spot. So a lot of the times when someone's in that deep space, probably the easiest step is to attempt to look at some things in your life that you can be thankful for before getting out of bed. And that can be, it's so easy to do and so easy not to do.
So gratitude, starting the day with gratitude.
Starting the day before you get out of bed, 3 things. And it's not just a gratitude list. It's the repetition of doing that every single day and then getting into a space where you actually feel the appreciation. So thinking of gratitude items is just conscious mind. I got it. I thought of it. It's can you actually attempt without being hard on yourself? Give it your best shot to get into a emotional state where I can feel the appreciation for that thing. Just in that example, because you got to start with the beginning. You can't start with that person and say, "What's your goal?" And what do you want to do? They're just like, I can't get out of bed yet. So it's the simplest step to attempt to look at something you can appreciate. I also like to use the power of words. So when I mentioned the idea of having choice and perspective, now affirmations, I have their place in time. But in that state, when someone's just down, if they're not going to just say, "I am amazing," it's not going to fit.
Correct.
So they might be able to say, "I believe that it is possible that I can feel a bit better today. I believe that that is possible that there are things that I'm thankful for. I believe that I do have something to be thankful for." It's a progressive affirmation. It's not a.
Oh, I like that. I don't think I've ever heard that. Progressive affirmation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they're ready after a few days or a few weeks or a month. Then they can bring it in, build it up. But it's the stepping stone.
Right. Okay. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, you are tuned to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa. The morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, where you can watch and listen is my YouTube TV channel. And today I have a very special guest. She is talking not just about her own journey, believe it or not, she had what they thought was a stroke, and she exhibits none of that, and she did it through the power of both her mind and her body. And that's what she's talking to us about, as well as sharing some practical tools from Elevated Mind on how you can reclaim your life and your, present, future success. Did I get that about right?
Elevated Worldwide is the company name,
Okay.
but we are using this concept of leveraging your mind through elevating your mind.
Got it. You'll remember I did interview at Secret Knock last year, Tony Child, who was the founder
Yes.
of the
Yes.
whole methodology and
Yes.
way. So
Absolutely.
we're delighted to have you.
Thank you so
And
much.
tell me, so I just learned what is it, progressive.
Yep.
I like that, stepping stones into. Yeah.
Yes. If someone's coming from that place where they're not wanting to get out of bed in the morning, if that's not where they are, then there may be a different recommendation. It's personalized, like that exact example.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't want to, is not feeling that they're able to take that first step, then those were the baby steps, one step at a time.
And that was to say, I believe it is possible to feel a little bit better today.
Yes.
Love that. I love that. Okay. Another tool, or wherever you'd like to go.
Well, and since you know Bob Proctor, you
Yes.
would be familiar, really, with the two ways to change your subconscious mind, to change that deep part of you that controls about 95% of your results. So the example I gave about doing gratitude every day, having some progressive affirmations, maybe moving into other tools in the morning with repetition. That's one of the ways.
Okay.
With repetition and emotion. And emotion. I don't want to leave if people are listening and they think, oh, I just need to repeat things. Repeating things without emotion does not change your subconscious. It does not change the part of you that's going to change your results.
Because then it's just words. It's just lip service, literally.
Yeah.
So but what if you're not feeling that emotion? Like you really don't believe that you're going to feel better today? Because I think a lot of people shoot themselves in the foot and the head because they continue to argue against their own, they argue for their limitations. Yes. And that's a law of attraction, Abraham Hicks term that I love, because we do. We it's like I used to do it when I was a kid. Before a test, oh, I know I'm going to bomb. Now I didn't, but I should have.
You probably could have done a lot better if you didn't say that right before.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So how do you deal with it when you don't feel
it? So the idea of that progression, if you just starting with by saying, I believe it is possible that I can feel better. You're not saying, I believe I will feel better. You're saying, I believe that it is possible. If you just don't believe that it's possible, we may need to get into therapy. It just depends on where the starting point is.
Right.
Where someone's at.
But that is a very easy term to be able to say with some feeling.
Yes.
Right. So that, okay.
Absolutely. And when you do gratitude, it's because you're grateful for something that is currently in your life. It is an easier way to get into an emotion because you're not trying to create something that doesn't exist yet.
Right. Beyond your belief in yourself.
Right. So it is easier to get into that emotion because you are thinking of something that is current and it is real.
Yeah.
But it's something that your feelings are in your subconscious.
Right.
It's not, the consciously talking is not what it's going to do, what will do it. Music, sounds, breath work. There's a lot of other tools that can help you kind of tap in and touch in. And we do have an event as well that does a deep core tap into your subconscious mind experience. So
that'll help.
Sometimes getting into an environment where you're kind of immersed into it. Like the person who doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning
is not going to get there.
Has to get encouraged enough to get into the room.
Yeah.
Of the things that will get you into the deep brain states.
Mm-hmm. So that's one. Second is
so one is constant space repetition with emotion. The second one is an emotional impact, which would be something like an event. Mm-hmm. And often it is often unfortunately something that is negative or not always, but car accident or my emotional impact.
Yes.
Getting diagnosed with a stroke, being paralyzed.
Yeah.
It's like in an instant, it changes how you see yourself, changes how you see the world, your identity, your perspective. getting into an environment where you can create a positive emotional impact would be how you can also second grade,
right?
Where you can intentionally change, but you rarely can do that on your own. Because an emotional impact has to be so deep. That's why it's
Right,
not because you're not capable. We're all have unlimited potential, but
right. Cool. And so you're doing this kind of work with what kind of people? Like who would benefit from this? I mean, it sounds like everyone.
Right.
So you
well, we do. Right. Anyone can benefit from the concepts and these exercises. Primarily Elevated Worldwide works with high-performing entrepreneurs and executives. We do primarily work with people who want to grow their business and don't realize that they are
the barrier, the biggest block.
You're the problem, right? So we heard Susie say it is when they can grow themselves, it absolutely unlocks an unlimited trajectory. And it is the willingness to do that work. To do the work on yourselves, to know that when you change, everyone around you benefits. Your family, your friends, your peers. If you're stressed and overwhelmed and anxious, you cannot show up as a 10 in your business. You cannot have, you mentioned earlier, you can't have creative solutions. The ideas and solutions to your business problems or life problems don't come to you when you're in a state of fear, worry, and doubt. So it's being willing to know that.
Right.
And then do the work. Yeah.
Admit it. Like you're, the problem, there is a problem. Houston, there is a problem, and that problem is you. Right?
So, and you're the solution. So
And the solution.
You don't do it
the
for
problem and the solution. All right. So so if you're listening right now and you are a business owner and you are feeling like you could do more or be more successful and you're not quite sure what to do next, how would they contact you?
Well, I'll probably suggest we go to our website, keepelevated.com. And welcome to find me, Nicole Kernahan, as well on social platforms.
And spell that.
Nicole Kernahan. Well, Keep Elevated is KEEPELEVATED.com. That's the website, as well as some of our other social platforms. And Nicole Kernahan is KERNOHAN. NICOLE is my first name. And Facebook, Instagram, I share daily posts. I do daily videos. A lot of content to help fill up the world and provide that peace and freedom. So we'd love to have you follow.
Awesome. Last question I usually ask my guests is, who or what are you most grateful for?
I'm sure you hear this, but I would have to say my parents, because you asked earlier and I didn't totally answer it, but the reason that I believe I healed myself quickly was because of the beliefs that were passed down from me. Before age 7 is when the majority of those beliefs are formed. So I did have that unconscious compromise because I was programmed to believe it's possible, to believe that I am capable, to believe that I can do that. And that came from my parents, which came from their parents, right? It all gets passed down. So that was the
wonderful.
First.
What are their names?
Joanne and Al Fennel.
Thank you, Joanne and Al. All right. Now, what I do at the end of every show is peace in. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. Love it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Nicole. It's such a beautiful person. And I looked it up. One of my fellow Agape International Spiritual Center sisters, Christina Applegate, also has multiple sclerosis. And I had no idea Montel Williams, you'll remember him, a great talk show host in an era that was, fraught with sensational, Jerry Springer type. He, as well as Oprah, my honorable moniker, did a lot to bring more, heartfelt or spiritual emphasis there. He also had multiple sclerosis. So I just find her story, her true story of her life, extremely inspiring, and especially applicable for Mental Health Monday Matters, because you know, when tragedy strikes, and this is one of those BS belief systems that I wanted to hit head on, is that a lot of people have pain in life. It is not this walk in the park. People have an expectation that, you know, normal life is only, you know, doing the American dream, going to school, best schools, getting the, having a great job, moving up the tracks, getting married, having children, you know, acquiring stuff, going on vacations, and then having relatives squabble over your what you're leaving. And that's not really the truth about life. Is pain in life is mandatory. Whatever you're going through is not, doesn't mean there's something wrong with you or that you are being punished, but it is something that allows us to be chiseled into you know, beautiful beings that they are. And Nicole is such a great example of that. I've been very open about, you know, I'm one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. And again, I don't regret a thing, because it chiseled me into who I am now. And 88% of the time, I like who I am, and I am fabulous. And, you know, 12% of the time I step in it. But that is the role of pain in life. That is the role of things that you don't want to have happen and don't expect to have happen. As in her case, multiple sclerosis, a diagnosis of that. We are not our diagnosis. Bottom line, it is something that affects us, and through all pain, if you can make it out the other side, is power. And that is the Happy 88 tip for today's Mental Health Matters Mondays message. And I wanted just to really thank her so much. Do find her, Nicole Kernohan. I had to remember the O comes before the A. And if you just, I just Googled it now to see if I could find it easily, and I can, and I will bring that up for you. Keep Elevated is the company, and there's a beautiful picture of her. So you can find her if you're a business leader, business owner. She will be able to help you no matter what's happened to you. As you can see, the strength of her mind and the strength of her resolve, and the disciplines that she shared with us, you know, just a little at a time. My Happy 88 tip version of that is 15 minutes at a time. I can do anything for 15 minutes at a time, even if it's 2 minutes at a time. If you're just starting to learn how to meditate, meditation is a wonderful healing thing because it stops that critical mind. So, you know, start with 2 minutes, take the breath, add a minute, you know, everything we can do if we just start. Once we start, there's a little bit of momentum going, and law of attraction, the more you are on that path and you're rolling down that hill, the faster it becomes. And then next thing you know, you have a really good life habit. All right. Oh, she's in studio. Well, it was amazing to speak with you, Dr. Marissa. Thanks for the opportunity to share. I didn't know if you're going to be able to come on. Glad that you could. And if you have any questions for her, please feel free to do so in the chat. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in studio today, this is Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe, you'll get an alert every weekday morning to tune in with me as you're on your way to work or wherever you're going. And since it is Monday, if you have subscribed, not for free, and you are a Happy 88 Mission supporter, You're joining me with, I'm on a mission for 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years as I travel on book tour again with this book, as well as speaking, which got shut down during the pandemic. Then $2.99 is the first level, where on a weekly basis, Monday, right after the show, you'll get a chance to ask me anything, free happiness coaching if you'd like, or we can talk about multiple sclerosis or anything that you have of interest. I don't know if I can get Nicole to stay on for a little bit after the show. The NBC News Radio side will go to the next program, but we'll stay on here on the Love streaming platform with StreamYard. Let's see. What else? Tomorrow, I will have a mate of Nicole's. He also has worked with Bob Proctor, actually many, many years with him closely. His name is Bill Banta. He will be my Spotlight Secret Knock interview tomorrow. And I will also be playing a portion of my interview with Bob Proctor that I did a number of years ago. He is on the other side. He's loving us from there. I'm sure he's teaching us from there as well. And so that'll be tomorrow's show. So make sure you tune in for that. But I want to also acknowledge and thank Marissa Friedman, who connected me with all these great people at Secret Knock. Peace in, peace out to you. And yeah, I'm so delighted that you could be here. Not quite sure on timing. I need a countdown from my studio engineer here, but I'm looking at the counter. If you do have any questions, since Nicole is in the chat, please do. Yeah, let's see. Yes, will be great to see both. Tomorrow's show, definitely. Oh, I know what I need to do. Asian Oprah giveaway is tickets to the Saban Theater, and the performer is Al Stewart. And I don't know if I'm dating myself with Al Stewart's music. Some people don't know who he is, but I know that I loved his passages, his song passages. See if I can find here. There we go. Time passages is and then there's another one that he's really well known for. Here, let me just share this. Na, 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 na. I should oh, copyright though, I can't pull up some of his YouTube. Year of the Cat. Year of the Cat. He came to stardom as part of the legendary British folk revival in the 60s. Let's see, Year of the Cat and Time Passages. So he will be on stage April 21st. So I'm giving a pair of tickets to his show from now until the show, thanks to show sponsor When Music Meets the Soul for my Asian Oprah giveaway. Thank you, Dana. Headliner is at 8 and tickets are on sale. But if you go to drmarissa.life, which I will quickly pull up here. I think I'm running out of time though, so I'm going to come back because I just looked at the time. I am sure that you know how to go to drmarissa.life and just put in your email Asian Oprah giveaway and let me know if it is the 8 Ways to Happiness audiobook or tickets to Al Stewart, and I'll get those to you. All right. Anything else? Okay, we have less than 2 minutes now, I think. But thank you so much for joining me today for Mental Health Matters Mondays and my very special interview with Nicole Kernahan. And she is staying after for the stream, I believe. And those of you who have pre-subscribed, just hang on And as soon as we go outro with the news at the top, NBC News at the top of the hour at 10, with KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind, then absolutely join me for the level 1 subscription. The level 2 at $4.99 a month is you get a free item from my Balance Marketplace. If you go to drmarissa.life/shop, you'll see things that you can get there. And that's it for today's show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And hey, you know it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from her living room, wishing you the best day ever. See you tomorrow.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Don't hit the snooze. Wake up in your dream home today. Contact Sam Works, a real estate agent at Century 21 Lois Lauer, giving you fast results and the best service. People are calling 909-800-6006. 909-800-6006. Sam works for you to make your dreams come true. DRE number 02162595.
Yard House Restaurant of Temecula takes this special time to salute the Temecula men and women in uniform who've answered the call for our freedoms. Let's give them the hero's welcome they deserve, as they have fought hard to restore peace around the world. American troops are our angels of protection, so stand up and salute them proudly. That's from Yard House Restaurant in Temecula, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. Call 951-296-3116 for Yard House Restaurant of Temecula at 40770 Winchester Road in Temecula.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
Do you have a debt problem? Are you being sued for an unpaid debt? Is your paycheck being garnished or your bank account emptied out? Do you feel like you're running out of options? The Fullman Firm is your friendly, local, law next door firm and has helped thousands of people just like you. Give them a call at 833-FULLMAN to see if they can help you too. It's a free, confidential consultation. You have nothing to lose. For debts above $7,000, give them a call at 833-FULLMAN or check out FullmanFirm.com. That's 833-FULLMAN, F-U-L-L-M-A-N. The Fullman Firm. Let their lawyers get you on the path to financial freedom. Preceding is not intended as a guarantee or estimate of the outcome of your case. Every case is unique and past results are not indicators of the success of your case. Take control of your financial future and call 833-FULLMAN or visit FullmanFirm.com now.
KCAA Radio, Loma Linda, where no listener is ever left behind.
Are you tired of the same old conversations that everyone keeps talking about? Want to hear something new, fun, and exciting? Listen to Whatever Works here on KCAA every Sunday at 7 p.m. We have amazing guests with interesting and unique topics. We do giveaways and we have sponsorship opportunities.
It's more than just a show, it's a lifestyle. You can also find us on kcaaradio.com or our website, kcaawhateverworks.com, to find upcoming and previous episodes.
We'd like to thank all the KCAA listeners for supporting our show.